Gav says because I can't hear him.
Okay, mate.
I don't know if anybody can hear me. I don't know
I
what's
can hear you,
going on.
mate. I can hear you.
You can hear me? Well, if anybody else can hear me, I think I need a new laptop or a new internet connection or even a new fucking football team to support. This is the Gunners Town Pub podcast. Yay. Yeah, we're just going to have a chat about that load of bollocks, really. From my point of view, Leicester come with a plan, and their plan was to last till 60 minutes and then bring Vardy on and then try and counter-attack us, which in effect worked. The problem being is we scored. And if that goal wasn't disallowed, and I've no idea why it was disallowed, totally different game. So I feel a bit fucking cheated, really, boys. Anyway, tonight we've got Alex. Say hello, Alex.
Hello.
We've got Mike, who may or may not be able to hear me. Hello, Mike. No.
Mike,
What's up?
I'm struggling to
Mike?
hear you. I can't hear
Yeah.
Gav.
You can't hear Gav.
And we've got Wazza.
Hello, lads. I'll have to be.
Right,
I'll have to be the
yeah,
translator
I mean-
for Mike.
Yeah, tell Wazza, tell Mike. I think we was cheated, and I think Brendan Rodgers played an absolute blinder tactically, but it only worked because we had a goal fucking disallowed for no apparent reason. So,
Well,
tell
I'll start him off then. I'll get him to start off. So, Mike, I'm here as a translator tonight, mate.
that.
Basically, Gav has said that Leicester come with a plan. They got to 65 minutes. He felt a bit cheated that we didn't score, and then they took advantage. Basically, what do you think? He feels a bit cheated. He's left. That's what he thinks.
Was it something I said?
Must have been, mate. Something you didn't say, I think.
No, so. Well, Wazza, go on, go for it. I mean, to me, first time I looked at that, and I'm wondering why he's giving an offside from a corner.
Oh, mate.
And then-
yeah, I mean.
And then
There's a
straight away, I mean, even from that angle, it didn't look like he was impeding the keeper. And the Leicester players weren't having a moan up about it, were they?
To be honest with you, that obviously the performance we can discuss, but like you say, when a side comes and sets up with that 5-4-1 formation, they're deep, they're compact, they know exactly what they're doing. When you score a goal that early in the game, it changes absolutely everything. And at the end of the day, it can't be offside. There's no rational reason for it to be offside. The ball's delivered in. Granit Xhaka's not impeding anyone. He stood behind. The ball is past Schmeichel before it even reaches anywhere near Xhaka. The decision is an absolute joke. And the fucking irony is that the decision was made within seconds when every VAR decision takes about 3.5 hours nowadays. I just do not understand what they've looked at there and said, yes, this is definitely offside. And even that aside, the Lacazette chance with a header, the reason he ain't buried that header and he should have gone and had his head kicked off is the geezer's foot was about to hit him in the head. So it's a penalty. And that like these are just byproducts anyway, to be fair. We can discuss the performance and that. But yeah, you are right. The disallowed goal has changed the game. It's completely changed everything. It would have made Leicester come out. And it's a shocking decision again. But we weren't good enough, mate. We weren't good enough.
No. Alex?
Yeah, I mean, the goal decision is quite a bizarre one. Yeah, obviously, I did actually.
We're going to have technical issues all night, do you reckon?
Is it happening again?
I don't know. I think Alex was frozen. I don't think it's meant to work tonight. Do you know what I mean? A bit
Mate,
like,
it's just one of them games, isn't it?
yeah, do you know what I mean? This is about we're having about as much luck as our creative midfielders, aren't we, at the moment?
Been frozen out. Look just like Al.
Yeah. Oh, don't. Yeah, I just think, like I say, I mean, you know, we're getting a few comments in the chats and all that. That yeah, we was passing sideways too much. We weren't really creating too much. But as you said, Leicester had a plan, and we broke that plan in the first 10 minutes. That was all over. What was Leicester going to do for the rest of the first fucking half?
Yeah.
They weren't even. I mean, they didn't have a 9. They didn't really even have a 10 on the pitch. They had like a bloody winger who was playing in the middle.
Yeah.
So,
Mike's back. I don't know if he can hear you. Can you hear anyone, Mike?
Not yet. I'm waiting. Sorry.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Woz.
Yeah, I'll pass it over then, because obviously you can't hear Gav. Basically, mate, we were just discussing the non-award of the goal, the offside, and obviously the Lacazette decision with the high foot, the reason he ain't headed the ball. But we were just saying that basically that changed the entire game plan of Leicester, because they didn't have to come out and they knew they could last. I was wondering what you was thinking about sort of them decisions, and Gav was sort of saying, yeah, as it massively affected the game.
Yeah, I think I'm breaking up, or you're breaking up, or something. But I think if you're talking about the Lacazette disallowed goal, that's another bad decision. But it's a regular occurrence now with the Premier League, isn't it? There's bad decisions in at least half of the games, and they have technology. It's embarrassing.
Yeah, it is embarrassing. It is embarrassing. Gav, you still there, mate?
Yeah. I'm just. What I mean, that's pretty concise for Mike, even though he can't hear me. I think as soon as you can hear everyone, you're best to sort of carry on and do this. Really, do you know what I mean? But I mean, it was frustrating, and it shouldn't have been that frustrating. And we kind of knew, you know, when you saw the lineup and you saw how Leicester were lining up, you knew what kind of night we was in for straight away. And the only way around that is the early goal. Which,
yeah,
like I say, I don't think I can move on with slagging off how we played and slagging off everything about us when we had a perfectly good goal that weren't fucking allowed.
We did, mate. But the other, for me personally, the other thing you've got to look at with the Arsenal, we're playing at home in the Premier League. You've got to create more, and there was a huge issue tonight. Leicester, like we said, they sat with a five at the back, great shape. They had a back 5 flat, a back 4 in front of the back 5, and then a 1 on his own, which weren't even a striker for the first 60 minutes. Now, we had no one getting in between the lines between that 5 and the 4. There was literally no one with the ability to move in between, and that is a huge, huge issue. Our most creative player tonight was David Luiz, pinging 50-yard balls to the fullbacks. It was just really frustrating to see, and we're lacking his creativity so badly. And the signing of Thomas Partey is massive. He's a fantastic footballer. He is great for us. But without that creative player, we're really, really struggling. And this ain't talking about Mesut Ozil as a footballer as himself. It's that kind of player that we need in the side. We need to be able to move between the lines, to get the ball, move the ball, and just create spaces. And we didn't. We were unlucky, like you said. You're spot on saying that we got shafted with a goal, and it would have changed everything. You're 100% right, because Leicester would have had to change, and they'd have had to come out, and we might well have won 2 or 3-1 or 2 or 3-0. But it's just, again, Arsenal Football Club, we're being made to look very ordinary in our own backyard. I mean, what is it? I think they said it was 47 games or something that only Manchester City have stopped us from scoring at the Emirates, and it's just. We just didn't ever look like really scoring, especially that second half. It was really poor. We didn't react. We didn't show any heart. We just couldn't create. And Leicester knew, as second Vardy come on, for some reason we went to 5 at the back. Xhaka was left centre back. That one ball over the top, they're in goal, and it's a robbery. And we cannot be having this happen. And the whole second half, we didn't even look like scoring, which is for me the most frustrating thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the other camp to you. when it comes to that fella who no longer plays for the Arsenal Football Club.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, we're polar opposites on it. I don't think that he actually fits into any sort of system that Arteta's actually played. Now, I mean, yeah, okay, it would be nice if we had the Ozil from 4 years ago, then you'd actually build a system around him, but you can't do that. So, I mean, I do completely disagree with you on that. I mean, I thought Ceballos wasn't at his best. I think Ceballos was perhaps pushed a little bit too wide. I don't think he was getting control of the ball enough for me. Again, as we were chatting in the group before we come on, Ainsley Maitland-Niles may have made a difference. I don't even think Partey done a great deal. I was expecting more of him driving with the ball. I mean, it seemed like in the first half and until Luiz went off that Luiz was our main creator. And for that, I just didn't think was particularly right. I think there was too many players that were too below par this evening. They should all take a good look at themselves, really. Has everybody gone now? Alex, speak to me.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't think in the first half we were particularly that good. In terms of completely dominating the game. Either. To be honest, I just think that the second half was even worse than the first one. With regards to Partey, I don't think we really could have done too much else because we were dominating the first half in terms of possession and everything. We just, there was just nothing there between midfield and sort of the final three players in our attack. So it's a system issue, but it's also a personnel issue that we just don't have the players at the moment. I think to be able to dominate games in the way that I think a lot of people want us to. It's going to take some investment as well.
Rod?
Yeah, to be fair, I agree with Alex there. I do agree with Alex there, what he's saying with regards to personnel. And that's why, for me, the biggest issue this summer was the lack of creativity and leaving Ozil out of the squad like we have, which was always going to happen. We had to replace him. And for me, Thomas Partey is a massive sign and he's going to be huge for this club. He's an unbelievable footballer, but he's just one part of the puzzle. And at the moment, we're severely lacking this player that can take control of games, get the ball, move the ball, get in between the lines, create spaces, create chances. The disconnect, as Alex picked up on, is huge between the midfield trio and the front three. And it's Lacazette is just, he's shambolic at the moment. It's the only way to put it. He's not getting on the end of crosses when he should be. When he does get in the end of crosses, he bottles it. This guy is, 45, 50 million pound centre forward who can't score goals at the moment. And I say I can't score goals at the moment. I know he would have scored 4 and 6 if he had scored today. But my thought process is that, for instance, there was so many times when he got to the byline, got cut back, and he's just nowhere to be seen. And there just seems a lack of desire, a lack of hunger from him. He don't seem right. And we can't replicate the flat 4-3-3 that Liverpool play with the current personnel. And Lacazette is not Firmino. Our wide men are not Mane and Salah. It's not comparable in any way, shape, or form. And I just think for Arsenal, especially at home, with a flat three, we couldn't dominate. We had no one picking up the ball. We had nothing to create. And it was really horrible to watch. Really horrible to watch. But yes, it is work in progress. I do understand that. But you would have thought, what the staggering thing for me is every single week we're looking at the lineup and we don't know what formation it is. We still don't know sort of what we're playing. There's no partnerships on the pitch. And I'm a bit alarmed by that at this stage. Like, hopefully, obviously, with the whole COVID scenario and the longer summer window and all that sort of nonsense, hopefully by sort of December, January, it settles down. But today was a really good opportunity for us to pick up points when everyone else lost them. And we just didn't turn up.
No, it was just disappointing all round. Do you know what I mean? And I didn't really understand. I mean, I don't want to get on Arteta's back, but I don't understand the Aubameyang starting on the right.
I agree.
And I know there was a couple of moments during the first half where him and Saka was swapping about. So, Saka was popping up on the right and he was popping up on the left. And in theory, that's a good plan. In theory, if you're going to start with them two as the wide out of the front, the top three, them swapping about is a good plan. But it just didn't fucking. It just. I don't think they did it enough tonight. And when you've got Aubameyang whose best position is coming off the left, why are you playing on the right? I don't. Alex, can you
Yeah.
try and explain that one? Because I fucking can't.
Okay, so I don't think Aubameyang's best position is coming off a left either. It's definitely straight through the middle, which is getting even more bizarre by the week.
I agree,
by the weeks go on. So that's one issue. Probably not starting Pepe tonight is another issue, and I just didn't really get it, to be honest. I think from the last game against Leicester back in the league before last season in July. And we had Saka. I think we had Saka on the right actually, which I thought he was, going to replicate exactly that. And obviously Saka was on the left, was largely ineffective, as was Aubameyang on the other side. And Ceballos tonight was a joke. Xhaka, where he was really playing.
It was Xhaka, wasn't he? He was back to the normal Xhaka, wasn't he, tonight?
I mean, he was basically playing left back for a majority of the game, which was bizarre. I mean, I get it because obviously Tierney goes forward, and pushes, and I can understand it from there. But then, I think Ceballos was doing the exact same on the other side, and then you've got absolutely nothing in the middle, and there's no link whatsoever. And I think that's probably the main issue for us today.
Yeah. I'll jump in there, Gav. I think he makes a very, very good point there, and it's very weird that you would rather use your fullbacks as your main attacking outlet over your sort of having a creative attacking midfielder in there. And I think that's our biggest issue at the moment. And he's spot on. Xhaka was filling on the left when Tierney's going forward on the right. Basically, our biggest weapon in the first half was a 50-yard ball cross-field from David Luiz or Gabriel. And it become very, very predictable. We did get in a couple of times, it must be mentioned. Bellerin got in behind a few times. Tierney got in behind a few times. We should have scored with a cross into Lacazette when he bottled the header. But to be honest with you, it's very easy if they're defending with basically effectively 9 defenders and a goalkeeper to just let us go wide and deal with the ball as it comes in the box. And if that's Arsenal Football Club at their creative best at home against Leicester, it's not good enough. So we need to understand this whole Aubameyang scenario completely winds me up. He's one of the most elite goal scorers in Europe for the last 20 years. The guy is a genuine gunman. He's on the shoulder, number 9, get the ball in the box, he's going to score. He's a one-touch finisher. That's what Aubameyang does. He is not a ball-dominant, get the ball wide, beat 4 men winger. That's not his job, and he never will be. And I just can't... It's fine when we were playing on the counter-attack against big teams and Aubameyang's then isolated in a 1v1 and he's cutting inside and scoring. That's great. But when teams sit deep and you're trying to get Aubameyang to get the ball, but he's just not manufactured to do that. And the whole Lacazette inclusion, he's just weird.
He needs the ball played. Aubameyang needs the ball played in front of him.
Yeah, right? Exactly. And he's moving.
So if we played like that tonight, right? If we played him down the middle tonight, especially in the first half, right? There was no chance he was going to get a ball played in
Gav, the one thing I would say though, mate, is where we were exploiting the wide areas when the ball's coming into the box, Aubameyang would have been there and he would have been on the end of things because he's a natural goal scorer, he's a natural finisher. There was one scenario when it went wide right to Bellerin and it got cut back, brilliant ball back, and Lacazette was just, I don't know what he was doing. He was sort of on the edge of the box, like tickling his bumhole, and you just sort of looking at him and thinking, Lacazette, like, what are you doing, son? Get yourself on the end of that. And then literally a few minutes later, the ball come wide, crossed in, and he did try and get on the end of it, but he sort of bottled the header, didn't he? And we were just saying again about the refereeing decisions. I personally think there's a penalty. Like, Lacazette's only not headed that ball in the net because that foot's up there, and he's scared of getting a foot in the head. But a proper centre forward just loses his head there, doesn't he? And puts it in the net.
I think we've already established this season that, high-footed tackles against us and feet in the air doesn't count.
Don't count, mate.
So
Don't count.
That's perfectly acceptable these days. You know what I mean? But I mean, to go back to Invincible Blog, as just mentioned, Alex, that Bellerin probably had a good shot and a good attempt. Was it just a little bit too clean? He's hit it well, but it was almost straight at him, wasn't it? Do you know what I mean? Did he hit it a little bit too clean?
Is this the volley in the second half?
Yeah, the volley.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably one of our best chances. I said. I mean, I think it was like the inside of his foot, so it's pretty hard to sort of not absolutely sky that or whatever, or miscue it or whatever. So, it's probably a case of just get it on target more than anything and see what happens. I mean, it came out of a period where we weren't exactly creating loads of chances, obviously, as you know. So I'd say it's probably was our best chance. And I mean, I don't think he could have done too much with it. Just sort of keep it on target from that position anyway.
Yeah, no, fair one. I've just put up a good point from Trevor was.
He's spot on.
Bellerin got booked, and then he's jumped in, and the fella's just, instead of taking the hit, he's dived over him.
Yeah, he's done him a favour, mate.
And so he's not got caught, so he hasn't hit him. It wasn't particularly dangerous because Bellerin's feet were pretty much on the floor. So, the fella's done us a favour, but I just can't help thinking that that's happened against us so many times that we've gone to jump out the way and the fella ain't got booked for it and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, but I mean,
it's one of those. You can't send someone off and not hitting someone, can you?
No, I think Trevor's right though. But like you said right, there, with what you said though, was spot on about the geezer. To be fair, if he took the hit, it's a yellow card. But he didn't take the hit. He exaggerated his fall, and I think that's what made the ref's mind up because of the way he went down. But he did. To be fair, he didn't even have to take the hit. He just didn't have to jump like a flipping fish out of water. Do you know what I mean? He could have just gone over. But yeah, that decision. But again, that's come after a lot else has happened. Today at the end, it's a very, very bad day at the office. I think we've got to get into this January window. We have to add this creativity to our squad. We have to. And the good thing for us is everyone else dropped points. We have to look at that and we have to say, look, this league's still very, very wide open. A good run of form, you push yourself up. We've gone for a really difficult period of games. We're going to have City away, Liverpool away, Leicester at home. We've got coming up United away next week. Do you know, if we can get to January within touching distance, then get someone in, I'm very confident that we can improve and we can go in the direction we want to, because I do like Mikel Arteta as a manager. Today, don't get me wrong, I think he got it horrifically wrong. I think he had a very bad day at the office. Even his subs were very strange today. But it's one of them days. He's a young manager, he's learning, and unfortunately, we're going to have to afford him these kind of games. It don't make it any easier and any more acceptable to defeat, but we're lucky that other teams are really stuttering, and I just think we need to try and look positively at the rest of the season, because there is an opportunity to stay within touching distance till January, and we could really add to this squad again and go and really push on.
Do you think he will add in January though, considering obviously?
Yeah, I think he will.
Used to hate the January transfer window.
I think. For me personally, I think it's a bit of a different scenario now. I think he was fully aware that we needed this creative influence in the team. That he was fully aware that Mesut Ozil couldn't play, and obviously the UR deal just didn't go over the line. And he was obviously in for him, so he knows the issues there. He knows what's happening. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to add that area of the team, so we're trying to adapt, and that's what the whole five at the back thing is. And now he's gone the flat 4-3-3, and it's really, really difficult to try and get that connect between the midfield three and the front three. And until that happens, we're going to continue to try and grind results out. And like I'm saying, we just need to get to January. And whether it's UR again, we go back in for someone else, it's got to happen, because Mesut Ozil's never going to kick another football for this club. And apart from him in this squad, there genuinely is not really that kind of player.
Yeah.
Gav,
I don't know if you think we'll spend, Gav.
Well, it depends. I mean, is there any money? Is Kroenke going to put any money in? Has the club got any money?
It should be. I just paid £15 to watch us on TV.
You're joking. Did you pay 15 quid for that? Oh, son. No, I had a bit. My stream kind of cut out a little bit in the first half, but the second half it was perfect. It was just a couple of bits. You know what I mean, like when you saying that moment that Lacquer went in and the fella had the high foot up, I don't remember seeing that. So I mean, that was at a point where my
Your stream went
froze
wild.
slightly. Yeah. You know what I mean, but one of those. But I certainly weren't paying the fucking 15 quid. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But,
no.
I don't know. I mean, it's a weird one, really. I think tonight that we had too many players deployed in the wrong positions, really. I would like to have seen Ceballos more central and further up the pitch. I don't think Partey actually did a lot tonight, to be fair. And you know, like I say, our most creative player, as I said at the beginning of this, was Luis. and you know, he was. I mean, to be fair, he was pinging some good balls. Let's not, you know, let's not really take the mickey out of it. But the problem was it was that or nothing else.
Yeah,
there was
exactly.
no one who was getting the ball in the middle of the pitch and breaking the lines with the ball at their feet. And that was because the Ceballos, who can do that, was playing out wide on the right for some reason, and it just was not working. Do you know what I mean? And are the players going to perform like that all season? Probably not. And hopefully this will sort of teach Arteta a lesson, really, that you know he can't really be doing this. Wenger used to do this all the time. He used to play players in the wrong bloody position too much. Like when Ramsey first broke into the team for us, and he was always put out wide right, which was never his natural position. So we just can't have Arteta repeating those mistakes that we witnessed for the last 5 or 6 years of Wenger.
Yeah, I think Gav, just jump in. You're talking about Wenger there. I think our good mate Giles, he used to always speak about it. He calls it the arc of boredom, where we get the ball, we move the ball left, we move the ball right, we move the ball left, we move the ball right, we move the ball left, and we move the ball right again, but we never actually penetrate. And tonight, in the first half, it was a little bit like that, except we were doing it with 50-yard passes rather than 5. And we did get in a couple of times, but it becomes very, very predictable very quickly. And we always knew that Leicester come with a game plan, and they were always going to bring Vardy on, and we got punished. But I think to try and draw a line under tonight, we just literally have to do that, draw a line under it, and just say to ourselves, it's a really bad day at the office. We've got deficiencies in this squad. It's obvious that we're lacking creativity. We have got issues. But if we can try and sort of get ourselves to January and stay in the mix with everyone else messing up, there's a good opportunity to invest and go further. And hopefully tonight isn't too damaging. It's a bad result. Obviously not even scoring at home, losing at home. It's really not too clever, but it's just one of those, and we've got to take it on the chin, and hopefully it's part of the learning process.
Yeah, I mean, Alex, if there was money, and like I say, nobody knows how much money there is in there, and they will be. I mean, there's a little bit of a misconception, really, with the fact that now Kroenke owns the club outright. Look, we will never know the full accounts, etc. That's rubbish. Part of the agreement to run a football club is you have to actually put your accounts in at Company's House, like every other limited company and every other PLC company in the whole of the country. You have to put your accounts in, and the accounts can be public knowledge. They won't be as detailed as they've been before, but they do have to put in the account. Alex, on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely do you think it is that Kroenke is actually going to put any of his own money into sorting out, you know, a little bit of class that we need in the attacking midfield department?
I mean, it's hard to say, because I think maybe this summer with the Partey deal was the first time, obviously reading from The Athletic, that it's the first time that he actually, you know, sanctioned a transfer out of his own money or whatever. So
I wouldn't believe it. I wouldn't believe everything that comes off out The Athletic, to be fair.
It was the Ornicle that said it, so
I wouldn't believe everything he said either.
But yeah, I would say it's quite low based on obviously what we've experienced in the past. Penny pinching and stuff. Couple of, we've signed El Neni in January, Dennis Suarez, Pablo Mari. These guys, they're not like game-changing signings. So on that basis, I would say it's probably quite low that we're going to, pull the checkbook out in January.
Yeah, and if we do, where would you like it to go?
Obviously, I think Houssam Aouar is one of our obviously still top targets. I think obviously I've heard that Arteta is a player that Arteta admires quite highly. We chased him all summer, couldn't get it done for whatever reason. So there'll probably be a chance that we go back there. I've heard of another little chap from Salzburg called Szoboszlai, who is very highly rated as well. So there's a chance we go there. Apart from that, I can't really see many players off the top of my head. Maybe that I can't pronounce it. Oyarzabal from Sociedad, maybe him. But again, these aren't names that I'd say may fit the system. But I'd say we could be looking at them for the future.
Yeah, it's just all a bit nerve, isn't it?
Yeah, it's frustrating tonight, mate. But we just, like we're saying, we just have to try and put not a positive spin on it, because it was shocking tonight. But what I mean is we have to put it behind us, because there's a long, long way to go this season. And I do think in January deals will happen. I think it's a bit different to every other season. There's going to be a lot of clubs needing to sell for financial reasons and financial fair play. And I'm pretty sure Arsenal are one of the clubs that are in a position to take advantage of that scenario. And hopefully we do get them, because the kind of player we're after is very, very rare, and it's very unique. And people like Bruno Fernandes, Kai Havertz, them type of players, that's why they're such big money, because they're a dying breed in football now. And it's very difficult to find that kind of creative player that is constantly involved. He creates chances all the time. He might not pay off all the time, but they're constantly there. And even people like Donny van der Beek and Aaron Ramsey, they're midfielders that will break into the final third. They will get themselves in areas that will score goals. And it's becoming harder and harder to find them players. So we have to act before almost they're non-existent. And I think we will. And I think tonight was shocking. I think Arteta had a mare. I think we were poor. It was always going to happen with Vardy. But we're not even 10 games into the season, are we? So, I mean, let's be honest.
We would have got more joy out of tonight if we played with three at the back. So, there was a couple of occasions where I was watching it. I mean, obviously, we had me and you and a couple of the boys had a chat once this starting 11 come out to what sort of formation it was.
Yeah, none of us knew. None of us got it right, did we?
I don't think some of the players knew. Well, in fact, I think the players knew exactly what they're supposed to do today. I think they. But the thing was one of it was that at certain times when we was without the ball, Xhaka was almost the left-sided centre back.
Yeah.
And when you do that, we're losing a player in midfield.
Yeah, I agree.
So we probably would have been better if we just stick to playing with three centre backs, as long as one of them isn't fucking Mustafi, right? And build, and having the players in midfield. It done Ceballos no favours. It done Xhaka no favours.
But Gav, again, I think that's a byproduct of not. I think that's a byproduct of not having a creative player. And Arteta looks at the pitch and he looks at our squad and he thinks, where is our most dangerous area? And he honestly believes that you've got Tierney, Aubameyang, Saka, Bellerin, Pepe, all that. He honestly thinks that's where we're going to create our most chances, and that's damning on the lack of creativity we have in the middle of the park. And I think he's seeing it that what is my best way to create chances, and unfortunately, as it stands, he probably ain't far wrong. But it didn't help us today, and you're very reliant on areas of the pitch that are very easy to shut down, and that's the issue we're having at the moment. And we're just not potent enough, are we? And it's all a bit of a mishmash. We got our best centre forward out wide. We got, like I said, just struggling in the middle of the park. We got weird substitutions. Like today was just a really, really poor day and a really weird day. And the frustrating thing is, Gav, like you said, you can go back to that decision right at the start of the game. That goal, 1-0 up, completely different. So it was poor, it was shocking, but on another day, could have been different. We have to dust ourselves off and go again.
It's small, Alex. It's small margins, isn't it? I mean, let's be honest. I mean, when you're at home against a team who have decided that they're going to defend for 60, 70 minutes, that was their plan from the start, right? And when you score in the first 10 minutes, it's disallowed, right? Okay, yeah, we had the rest of the game to make amends and we didn't, but that's a game-changing decision, isn't it?
It can be, but I don't think it was because I don't think we were good enough. So, these can be game-changing decisions in the last 10, 15 minutes, obviously. If that happened in the last 10, 15 minutes and they scored, then we'd be looking at it a bit different. But I think, obviously, because it happened so early on, we can look at it and say, yeah, it should have been a goal. However, it's not like we didn't have the time or the opportunities to go out there and still win the game. So with regards to that, I'd probably say that, it's probably more something on that we weren't good enough, that we didn't win, not based on that decision, which, is something that we need to work on, creating better opportunities, as was said as well, helping out with the, signing an attacking player in January, which is, incredibly important now, I think.
Yeah. Right, well, boys, unless you've got anything to say, I'm a bit too fucked off really. I just want to call this a night, really.
I must admit, mate, I'm extremely fucked off, and it's just one of them days where it's shit to be a fan, but you just got to deal with it. The worst thing is normally you go back to the pub after and enjoy yourself, but you can't even do that anymore. So might as well just fucking. It's Sunday night. We've just lost at home to Leicester, and it's a load of shit.
I don't think, like I say, I think really the fact that we wasn't allowed to go today probably done a lot of people records for attendance at work a lot better than if we was up there tonight. You know
100%.
There would have been
that's first hand from me. That is.
Yeah, I know. Could tell a good few stories of that, mate. I've been stacked over it and everything. But yeah, no. So yeah, in a weird, perverse way, us not being allowed there was might have saved a few jobs tomorrow. Alex, you got anything else to say before we wrap this up?
No, obviously just extremely pissed off. We were just spineless, I think, and yeah, I think there's a long road ahead, obviously, and there's, obviously Arteta's been very good for us so far, but I think it just highlights that, the issues that we do still have, and people need to not get carried away at the moment.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm claiming that, and the one the other day as well we didn't get. I just think it's going to be like I say, I think we need a little bit of luck and a break on something, really. Do you know what I mean? We need somebody trying to kick one of our players in the head and actually get him sent off for it.
One day I'll have it, mate.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Anyway, this has been a Gunners Town Pub podcast. We lost. We're pissed off. We'll speak to you all soon. Up the Arsenal.